Budget and Finance Committee meeting and special call committee of the whole meeting to order. Counselors, we have the minutes from the last meeting. Have you had a chance to look at them?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Of the minutes.
Yes, ma'am. All in favor say aye. Aye.
I'm good.
Okay, the minutes have been approved from the last meeting. Okay, now we will have consideration of the consent agenda. Counselors, do you have any items you'd like to place on consent?
I do.
I'd like to ask we consider item number 4 on page 1, item number 6 on page 2, item number 7, 8, and 9 on page 3, item 10, 11, and 12 on page 4, item 13 on page 5, items 16, 17, and 18 on page 6. Item 19, 20, 21 on page 7. Item 22, 23 on page 8. Item 24, 25, 26 on page 9. Item 27, 28 on page 10. Item 30, 31 on page 11. Item 33 on page 12. Item 35 on page 13. And that's it.
Counselor Abbott, are there any items you'd like to place or remove from? Jeff, yes. You have something? Okay, Counselor Abbott.
All right.
Okay.
But I wanted to find out on item 10, page 4, which district's funding is this? Is this
That's for the Bush Hills community.
Bush Hills.
so it's the Bush Hills Neighborhood Association is doing the funding?
Yes, it's in the description.
It could have said that. I didn't see it. It just says it's for the Bush Hills community, not the Neighborhood Association, so I didn't know. Anyway, and then there was, on that same page, item 12, which district is that? Or is that the Neighborhood Association?
It says
also?
Kingston Neighborhood in the description for number 12.
Yeah, it says it's for them, but, you know, I haven't memorized all of these numbers of these funding line items, and so I like it when they say who is doing the funding, like item 13. It says it's no dumping signs are for the rising West Princeton neighborhood, and the funds are coming from this line number. I would just like for it to say what the line number is instead of having to ask. That's all.
Okay.
So that's all for me. I mean, I didn't want to take anything off except the goats.
We will reflect for items number 10 and 12 and 13 that this funding will come from the respective neighborhoods. I will make sure when it goes to the agenda, it'll say that. And we will make note of that for future agendas. Thank you, Councilor Abbott.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, you have something?
Yeah, Madam Chair, for item 19, I believe the correction is coming from the administration, but versus the mention of Crestwood North Neighborhood Association, it should be Forest Park, South Avondale.
Now, are these the correct account numbers that are on here? Okay.
What was the answer? These are correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It was just the name of the
Okay,
neighborhoods
thank you.
that need to be corrected. So we need a motion and a second for approval.
I move those items that have been called for approval for
Second.
consent agenda.
Second.
And those items are item number 4 on page 1, item 6 on page 2, items 7, 8, and 9 on page 3, items 10, 11, 12 on page 4, item 13 on page 5, items 16, 17, 18 on page 6, items 19, 20, and 21 on page 7, items 22, 23 on page 8, items 24, 25, 26 on page 9, item number 24 on page 10, items 30 and 31 on page 11, item 33 on page 12, item 35 on page 13, and I think that is it. Okay, there's,
Madam
Yes.
Chairman, I hate to ask this.
no, you're fine.
Can we take item 11 off of consent?
That's fine.
It's on page 4.
Okay.
Okay.
We are taking item 11 off of page 4. So we will only have items 10 and 12 on consent for page 4. Okay? There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The consent agenda has been passed. We will go to the first item. Also, if your item has been placed on consent agenda, you may go enjoy your afternoon. Item number 5, a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a 3-year agreement with EMS Management and Consultants Incorporated, Louisville, North Carolina, for EMS/MC to provide routine ambulance billing, bill processing, and fee collection services for the Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. The city will pay required fees to EMS/MC, including a fee in the amount equal to 5.9% of net collections recovered. The maximum amount of compensation payable to EMS/MC during the term of the agreement shall not exceed $350,000.
Move the item.
Second.
Hi, Chief.
Good afternoon, Council. So, Corey Moon, I serve as the Fire Chief of Birmingham Fire and Rescue. This item before you for EMS MC, this is for our rescue unit transport emergency billing services. This is just a renewal of our previously enacted agreement. Again, it's for 3 years. I'm also brought with me Assistant Chief Matthew Lamont, who is over our EMS division and billing service, if you have any specific questions about the agreement, but it's just a renewal of our current contract.
Okay. Councilors, do you have any questions?
I don't.
I just have one, and that is the $350,000 max. That includes a basic fee for them doing the work, then plus a percentage
That's
of the
correct.
recovery.
That's correct.
So the recovery items, if a person pays the bill when they receive it from the city, is that included, or is it the ones they have to pursue vigorously to get the money?
I believe that's included. Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Matthew Lamont. It's part of the collections only of fees collected, not billed. Does that answer
Okay,
your
so
question?
if there's difficulty in making a collection and they have to actively pursue somebody, they get 5.9%, but if the person just pays the bill when they receive it, they don't get 5.9% on that one?
It's a 5.9% collection on any fees they obtain, whether it's insurance or self-payment.
Okay, so it doesn't matter whether people pay their bill voluntarily or whether they have to pursue them, they get 5.9% of everything.
Yes, ma'am.
So every time the fire department goes and picks someone up and takes them to the hospital, then they get 5.9% of the bill plus a fee for providing services?
No, they only get the 5.9% if they collect the money. The 350 is the not to exceed amount. So the city has appropriated that amount of money to pay up to that amount based on what they collect. If they only collect 100,000, they'd only get 5.9% of that.
Okay. I got it.
So it's based solely on what they collect. They get a percentage of what they collect up to the not to exceed amount, right?
Okay, well, we hope we're not taking that many people to the hospital. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I think there aren't any other questions. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The aye passes. Thank you, Chief. Next item is item number 11, a resolution pursuant to section 11-47-19, Code of Alabama 1975, authorizing the mayor to expend funds in an amount not to exceed $500 for the purchase of one gas leaf blower for the Brownsville Heights community.
I move approval.
Second.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if,
Who's going to answer? Chief? Okay.
yes, the chief has all the answers. Is this a policy change for the city to allow neighborhoods to purchase lawn equipment?
It's actually my first time hearing. I don't think we have a policy on.
Well, the city's had a policy. It may not have been one written down, but they did not allow neighborhood associations to purchase lawn equipment for them to use because of the liability that we would incur if someone was injured. So I'm just curious to know whether the written or unwritten policy has changed, and if we're going to allow neighborhood associations to go out and start buying lawn equipment so that they can take care of their neighborhoods, and who's going to own the lawn equipment. So can you?
That's a fair question. I have to find out. I'm not 100% sure because I'm only aware of the two policies about neighborhood cleanups and neighborhood fun days and when they want to buy office supplies. So I'll find out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I was surprised to see this because neighborhoods have been asking to use their neighborhood money to buy, mowers and weed eaters and stuff. And the city has always said via the Office of the City Attorney that there would be liability involved and that the city could be sued if there were any accidents. And so they didn't allow that to happen. And this looks like a change.
I'll find out.
Well, Madam Chairman, I'm not ready to vote on this until we get an answer because there's 99 neighborhoods and they're all going to be watching us to see what's going on.
Okay, well, since we have the next Budget and Finance meeting next Monday, I'm okay with that, if there's a motion. And second.
Yeah, well, unless we can get an answer by the end of the meeting, it's just, we don't, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I move for a delay till our next meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The aye will be delayed until the next Budget and Finance meeting, which is September 26th. Okay? Next item is item 14, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a 3-year agreement for annual subscription services agreement with ShotSpotter Incorporated, covering renewal and hosting of the ShotSpotter gunshot detection location forensic analysis service within the city. The existing agreement ends September 30th, 2022, and this new agreement will cover subscription services for ShotSpotter Response commencing October 1st, 2022, and ends September 30th, 2025. The city is authorized to expend an amount not to exceed $2,890,416, which includes subscription costs for Phase 1, 2, 3A, and 3B.
Move the item.
Second.
Chief.
Good afternoon. Scott Thurman, currently serve as Chief of Police for the Birmingham Police Department. So ShotSpotter is something that we utilize. It's a gunfire detection system to get our officers to those scenes quicker, to look for victims and retrieve evidence, and to also determine where our particular areas we're having the most trouble in and related to gunfire.
Okay. Councilors, do you have any questions?
Well,
Councilor Abbott?
Of course. Do we have ShotSpotters all over the city or just in certain neighborhoods?
So there's 20 square miles all throughout the city. It's in different areas throughout the city. And so
last night when I went out to take my garbage out, there was gunfire. And I wondered, I didn't call the police because I didn't know where it was coming from because I'm not a shot spotter. But I wondered if the police knew, if the police knew that there was gunfire going on in my neighborhood.
So without getting into too much about where those sensors are, they're just strategically placed throughout the city is the best thing I could tell you. So they don't cover the entire city, they only cover 20 square miles.
Are there any near UAB?
We can't disclose that.
Is that too detailed?
Yeah, it would be a detriment to our operations with this particular.
That's what
Okay,
they're
well,
saying.
I don't even know what one looks like. So if a shot spotter device was sitting on the top of a utility pole, I wouldn't know that was what it was, but a bad person might. But I was just wondering if we have them spread across the city or whether we just have, special places we put
They're
them.
throughout the city. They're all throughout the city in just different areas.
Okay, thank you.
Are we looking to get any more shot spotters anytime soon?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't been told that.
Is it
Well,
possible?
I mean, it's always possible. I think right now we're trying to implement more cameras right now to just strategically put them in different locations throughout the city. But if we want to look at expansion of shot spots, I think we're more than amenable to that.
I think every council want that because all they're going to do is shoot out the cameras, more likely.
We haven't had that happen yet, and that's really going to help build out our real-time crime center. So really, the cameras and ShotSpotter work together. There's actually an interface that's part of this that, let's say ShotSpotter goes off and there's cameras in there, they actually turn to the area where the gunfire is heard from to capture whatever they may capture.
Okay.
So more cameras would be the most beneficial aspect of this.
Okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
Thank you. You asked my question. I was just wondering, would this increase the capacity of what we have? So this just will be the contract for the current what we have?
It's just extended for 3 more years.
Okay.
All right, Councilor Abbott, do you have any more questions?
I do, but I'm not going to ask them.
Why not?
Well, I mean, because they won't be answered.
Oh,
Oh,
I get what you're
yes,
saying.
I
Okay, I
have
get what you're
questions,
saying.
but they were questions that cannot be answered.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Okay, so I'm ready to vote.
Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That item passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 27, an agreement with My Goat Incorporated, under which My Goat will provide professional services related to the configuration, installation, and maintenance of four goats, or robotic mowers and 4 goat pens for use in and for Lynn Park. And the city will provide funding for the services of My Goat in an amount not to exceed $11,720 for a term of 1 year.
Move the item.
Second.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. So what are we doing? So what we are trying to do is it's a pilot program that we're trying to do with this called MyGo. It's basically like a Roomba, if you know what the Roomba is for the house. It's an electronic, basically vacuum cleaner, but this one does lawnmower services. So we're just kind of testing it out to see if we can save money and be more efficient. So we'll strategically put them in different parts just to test it out and see if it is beneficial to the city.
How tall is it? How big is it?
The one that we saw is probably about 5 feet, maybe. It's not big at all, but it covers a large portion of when it actually mows the yards.
Okay, because I was about to say, how will this cut down the time it takes for a human to cut grass?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is trying to get away from our third-party vendors from doing this, and especially with our limited staff when it comes to park and rec. And I know we get most of the complaints about parks not being mowed, so this is kind of a solution that we're trying to figure out right now.
Okay, go to Cooper Green next. I know President Alexander knows what I'm talking about. Do either one of y'all have questions?
Yeah.
Councilor Abbott?
Well, I was hopeful that these were going to be real goats, but when I saw robotic, I figured it wasn't. So we're going to start in Lynn Park, I guess, so we can watch out the windows and see how it works. So the goat pens are structures to put the robotic goat in so nobody steals it?
That is correct. And I honestly think they cannot steal them because they're very heavy, and if they did, they could possibly not steal these.
Okay, so these goats, can they go like up hills and down hills and around trees and over all the trash and junk that
the
people
software
throw in?
allows us to put a geofence around a certain part, so it'll be in a defined area. So they are motorized, so they're able to go up, down, around, circles, the whole nine.
And I guess they have GPS
Yes,
on
they
them.
do. They do.
So, do we think we're going to deploy, if these are successful, do we think we're going to be deploying them in all over the city, like to mow the parks and things like that, or are we going to deploy them somewhere else, or do we know?
I think it's just the test run is just to see how well it works in a park. I think that's one of our biggest complaints of parks not being mowed timely. And I think this will help. You know, you don't really have to have a full staff to sit there and just watch the goat mow. It pretty much does it on its own. And then I think the only thing that manpower wise is just when they have to dump the grass when it goes back to his pen.
Oh, it sucks the grass up and keeps it inside? Well, gosh, it'll choke after 5 feet in George Ward Park. I mean, it must have a huge container for grass. It's just for well-maintained parks.
We'll definitely let you know how well it works if we think it's successful.
And I think I'm seeing why Lynn Park is the chosen spot. Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman.
Madam President?
Yes, I just have one question I wanted to clarify. It's more like a pilot program, so it's going to go on for a year. Is that the duration of it?
Yes, ma'am.
And I was just looking at it online. Now, Tuscaloosa has this, or any other cities close to us?
I think Mr. Yates said Huntsville has tried them out, and I know, of course, Tuscaloosa has done it, and that's the reason why we're trying to do it, because I think he reached out to his colleagues, in other departments, and said it was pretty much successful in their city. So.
And when we're talking about a pen, are we talking about a physical fence, or you said it's electronic?
It's a geofence. It's just electronic, so
Okay.
it wouldn't go into a street, or it wouldn't go into somewhere where it hurt somebody.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing what happens with this.
Yeah, hopefully neighborhoods can buy them.
Yeah.
So I think that'll help out a lot. Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. So we skipped 25. I thought we had placed it on consent. I think 15. But we'll read out loud very quickly. Item 15, an ordinance to amend the grants fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 by appropriating $217,236.36 to fire assistance to firefighters grant per grant award received.
Move the item.
Second.
All right. Good afternoon again, Council. So this grant, this is a grant that we applied for and were granted for $236,036. There's also a 10% match for this grant. The way we plan on using these funds is we plan on buying 8 PPE extractors and 8 PPE dryers as a part of our cancer reduction initiative. So one of our goals is to place PPE dryers and extractors at each fire station, and this will start our phased approach in that effort.
That's interesting. Madam President, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Councilor Abbott?
No, I'm good, thank you.
You don't? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank you, Chief. All right, next item. This item 29, an agreement with HUB Worldwide Incorporated, under which HUB Worldwide will supply health clinics and organizations in the city of Birmingham with free medical supplies and free equipment to help them with their supply needs, since most of them have had supply chain issues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. HUB Worldwide will also expand services to include other organizations in the city of Birmingham, such as Firehouse Shelter and similar organizations that could use these supplies. The fee for these services is not to exceed total funds in the amount of $14,999, inclusive of any reimbursement expenses for a term from August 2022 through June 2023. Said funds will come from District Number 5 discretionary funds. I think we forgot to put that on consent.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay. Either one of you all have any questions?
Well, I just thought this was an interesting item.
It is an interesting
I'd never heard
item.
of this kind of service before, and I was just I actually was wondering how anyone even found out about it.
I guess we'll have to ask Council
I
O'Quinn.
guess we'll have to ask Councilor O'Quinn.
What you said, Jeff? Well, this is great.
Well, I don't remember it from last year. Sorry.
Okay. Well, unless anyone has any questions, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item has been passed. Next item. Item number 32, a memorandum agreement and intergovernmental agreement with the Cooper Green Mercy Health Services Authority, an affiliate of UAB Health System, under which the City of Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service will assist with a home visit program utilizing emergency medical/paramedicine technicians aimed at assisting certain patients with in-home follow-up care and treatment after hospital discharge by providing certain medical interventions, preventative care, and the identification of new medical conditions, thereby reducing hospital emergency room visits and inpatient readmission. And Cooper Green will pay $195 per patient per month for each patient participating in the paramedicine/EMT program.
Move the item.
Second.
Hey, Chief.
Hey, might as well just stay up here, right? So this is an item that we're really proud of and excited about. This MOU is for our community paramedicine program, our CARES division, which is Community Assistance Referral and Education Services. So what we do with this program is we provide education, disease management, follow-up care, social assessment, home safety assessment, fall risk screenings, welfare checks in the patient's home, anybody who signs up for this program. So with what Cooper Green is trying to do is they'll give us a list of patients. They'll provide us $195 for each patient every month in that program. This is a 6-month pilot program with Cooper Green. We'll start off with about no more than 30 patients. We have a similar agreement in place right now with UAB where we're doing the same thing, and there's absolutely no cost to the city. So this is just us trying to reduce the number of frequent visits to the emergency room and provide extra services to the citizens that we serve.
Okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
I did have a question centered around, but maybe in your explanation, you helped to satisfy my question. You're starting out with 30 patients.
Yes, it'll be no more than 30 patients in the initial 6-month pilot program.
Okay. And is it limited to what type of treatment or care? You know, for instance, if I've been in for a particular issue, is that limiting versus what the type of care you're going to be providing?
No.
So it doesn't disrupt anything like any occupational therapy or physical therapy that someone may be getting as part of that.
Yeah, and they'll be screened by Cooper Green, and they'll provide the list to us. But
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Abbott.
So these people would be identified by Cooper Green, and they would be patients that maybe had no one to help them with their medications or protocols, and therefore they might end up back
right,
in the hospital again in a week because they couldn't really take care of themselves correctly. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I like this program because a lot of people go to the ER for what is really clinic visits or primary physician visits. And also I saw Cooper Green is getting like a facelift. Am I right? I think they are. So I think that'll be good that we're starting this pilot program. So, okay. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I think we're done with you now. Item 34 on page 13, an agreement for consulting services between the City of Birmingham, the Birmingham Board of Education, and IMC Financial Consulting LLC, IMC, in substantially the same form as on file in the office of the city clerk and as before this committee, under which the Birmingham Board of Education and IME will implement a financial literacy initiative called the Financial Freedom Project to provide financial literacy and financial education to Birmingham City Schools for an amount not to exceed $1 million for a term on 1 year.
Move the item.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mr. Phillips.
And good afternoon to you, to the the entire committee, and to Chief Chaz Mitchell as well. I'm Galvin Billups. I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of the Department of Youth Services, and I'll make a few comments, but I'm going to turn the balance of the time over to Mr. Cooper so that he and his team can actually make the presentation regarding this effort. The state of Alabama is one of few states nationwide that requires students to take a semester or more of personal finances and career preparedness as a graduation requirement. The Alabama Course of Study for Career Preparedness focuses on integrating career development, financial literacy, and technology as learning paths for graduation and enabling students to better manage their finances upon graduation. Equally important to Mayor Whiffen and to this council is for students to be able to finish high school and attend college or university with minimal to no debt. We see that going on with the Birmingham Promise, but today this presentation is to help BCS students receive financial literacy and mobile technology. Mayor Whiffen strongly believes in ending predatory lending and economic insecurity that affects low-income communities in our city. And before you today is a request for approval of $1 million, or the use of $1 million to support comprehensive financial education to BCS faculty and students. With that said, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Isaac Cooper, IMC Financial Consultants, and his plan for $1 million called the Birmingham Financial Freedom. Mr. Cooper.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is exciting to be in front of you and not talk about the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute this time. So as you can see in front of you, there's actually 3 pieces of information. The first is in front of you gives an overview of the Financial Freedom Project. Ultimately, I've been in the financial industry for about a decade now, worked at a Fortune 100 company, actually was at the #1 office in the country. And we looked at financial literacy just in regards of for students, that would be more proactive, but when you think about for adults, it'll be more reactive. But when you think about the information, it really wasn't impacting the neighborhood in which it needed to be, because there was always some type of product on the back end. How can I make a sale in some form or fashion? So, of course, that triggered some type of, I'll say, tension, where how can we provide a solution that is comprehensive? Bless you. And so when we think about financial literacy and financial education for the students, we got to think about the environment that they occupy. So what type of resources do we have for the faculty and staff? What type of resources do we have for the adults? So if you flip on over to the first page, and I'll tap into probably one of the highlights that you see in that first paragraph, but where it really just have the takeaways for the students. So the 6 schools that were selected for this pilot were guided by the leadership of Birmingham City Schools. So Dr. Horn and the instructional superintendents, they gave us guidance on the first schools in which we should start with. As mentioned, our team will facilitate the in-person instruction, so that will be up to 250 plus hours inside the classroom, engaging interactive material. All of our material will be in line with the national and state standards when it pertains to financial literacy. As you can see, there is an overview of some of the topics that we'll be able to discuss. And again, thinking about financial education and financial literacy, 3 years ago, nobody would have been talking about Bitcoin, right? Or even Cash App and all these different ways in which you can move money. And just the way in which technology has sped up our relationship with money, it is very critical that these students understand the language of money. So we'll be able to have a great experience inside the classroom, but we thought about, all right, whenever they leave the classroom, what type of technology can we equip them with? And that's when we were able to partner with Goal Center. CEO Tanya Vancourt actually recently through, I believe, Breakthrough FinTech, they were noted the #1 personal finance app in the country. Tanya Vancourt, one of her investors is billionaire Robert F. Smith, which they have an initiative to donate 1 million stock to Black and Brown students. And so we are able to engage and partner with them with this initiative, being able to have interactive videos and additional support when it pertains to our material. So the Goal Center app will be a great tangible benefit. But as mentioned before, you got to be able to have the education with the equipment. I can't just teach you how to play baseball and not give you a mitt and a baseball bat. And so the fact that these students will be able to have access to a savings and an investment account is a great value add. And then as you saw in the overview, we have already committed $250,000 worth of stock will be donated to the students and the faculty and staff. In that next page, you'll see the deliverables for the faculty and staff in regards of really that same type of wraparound resources. You know, what type of information can we provide them? Because again, financial literacy has not been in the school system, and so it would really be irresponsible for us to put the onus on the teachers, and they have yet to even have an experience with their own money with a guided professional. So we'll be able to provide up to 700 hours of at no cost of one-on-one consultations for the faculty and staff. So that would be up to 4 sessions. As well, there will be 24 financial workshops. 12 of those workshops, they will see a familiar face. Anthony Anderson, the star from Black-ish, he actually, and again, our partnership with Gold Center makes this robust, but he actually recorded the 12 wealth building principles, and that will be in concert with a 60-minute presentation, 30 minutes with a Q&A, and then again, 12 more workshops that will be more topic-based, so planning with the experts. And so if you're looking to purchase a home, we'll have a session on that. If you're looking to get better guidance on your 403B, we'll be able to have CFP, CFA credentialed individuals to be able to provide these type of resources that if the teachers made more money, they'll have these folks calling them already, right? But due to their income and due to their low asset amount, unfortunately, that's typically those that you'll see more predatory services. Sorry, I may get long-winded. Let me hurry up. All right, and then the third page on the back, you'll see the deliverables for the parents and caretakers. Again, we cannot just provide this information for the students and then think when they go home that the family member that is responsible for raising them has access to the same information as well. And so what can we do to equip and educate them? So one-on-one consultations for them, financial workshops, and also excited about a financial empowerment fair that we'll be able to put on once per semester. So this fair will ultimately wrap them around with the resources that already exist. So if you need help with diaper assistance, you have Bundles of Hope with 2 weeks worth of diaper assistance and feminine products. All these different organizations of which that will allow the household to be, you know, you'll hear someone say it's very difficult to tell a child a dream if they don't have a bed to sleep in. So there's certain immediate necessities that we can help these households with. So when we do provide the information and education, they are more receptive to it. Second document really just goes over the information in regards to what you'll see and what they'll experience in the classroom at the levels in which we'll have the in-person instruction, 4th, 8th, and 12th. And then the third document lays out just an overview of frequently asked questions. And so I'll stop there. I probably could have stopped about 8 minutes ago. I feel like I've been there for a good 20. See if there's any questions that you may have.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sure you all do.
You can go first, Ms. Abbott.
Councilor Abbott?
Well, can I go?
Ma'am?
Said, can I go?
100%.
I don't think that you're ever too old to learn about finance.
That's right.
And I think that this is fabulous. I hate to admit that when I went off to college, I didn't even know how to fill out a check.
Right.
You know, it was sad.
Right.
It was very sad. And my parents tried to teach us stuff, but, you know, it was sad.
Right.
So I think that this is wonderful that young people would get this information before they go out,
Right.
mostly before they go out into the world. And this is just great. I mean, I want to go. Probably don't have time, but I want to go. So I think it's wonderful, and I really don't have any questions except you have 6 pilot schools. Is the idea is after this is fabulously successful, you'll expand to more schools?
100%. So it's our goal to expand in increments of 6, just to ensure that the capacity fits the deliverables. So we do want to make sure that this is a transformative relationship, because the financial literacy package that we've seen across the country has been more transactional. Can you check the box on providing information? But the data and the metrics that we're tracking on the front and the back end, we want to make sure that there's a long-term success. So it is our goal to be within all 42 Birmingham City schools.
Great, thank you.
Madam President?
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to see this type of program. We know financial literacy just goes many ways in many different directions in order to making a person to be successful and making good decisions with the use of monies and things like that. Let me just ask, because in the golden days, the old days, we used to have programs like this, but it was more of a banking type situation in the classroom. So now you're going to provide the $250,000 donated stock, and you said that's going to be placed into the accounts of the students and the faculty staff. Is that going to be managed through the app? And that you're going to be training on? Or
No,
just give me a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a great question. So our partnership with the Gold Setter Foundation, they've already established an app that you can actually download right now and experience the investment arm of it. But ultimately, it will be donated into the app based off of the age of the individual. They'll have certain access to it, and so just even within the features of Gold Setter, they have a learn before you burn feature that's tied to their card. So let's say you have a young whippersnapper that looks like myself as a child, and you say, hey, look, if you don't pass these quizzes, I'm going to turn your card off. And it automatically shuts it off. And so we'll be able to add that same type of feature for the stock element before they turn the age of 18 to ensure that they understand that this is an asset, right? Because the reality of their situation, unfortunately, these students, this may be the biggest asset that they have within the account. And so if they don't understand it, they're going like, all right, how can I spend it? You know, let me get that right now. I want some bubble gum. So yes, that is a feature you'll be able to experience on the app.
Okay. And I did notice, looking at the schools that you will have these programs in. I just was curious. You have 2 of the classes will be offered to seniors. Then you have one that looks like 2 middle school and 2 elementary. Any reason behind the choice of these particular schools, or were you targeting a certain audience within each of those schools?
Great question. So those schools were essentially given to us by the Board of Education. Yes, ma'am. So we provided the infrastructure, the layout. They said, hey, this is a great place to start. The grade levels are actually aligned to the national standards, so 4th, 8th, and 12th. We just did a little pivot with one of the schools with 7th grade, and that's why you'll see the 7th grade with Hudson.
Okay. Well, I have lots of questions. I really like this program, and I really hope it'll be beneficial to our students. But I can just talk to you offline if you don't mind. Just it doesn't affect my support of this. It's just that I'm curious with how the program will work. Here's just one question I want to ask.
Yeah.
So I'm in the 4th grade.
100%.
And I'm at Sun Valley and Robinson.
Okay.
And I go through this pilot program.
Right.
How does it extend over a period of time? I just meet the goals and objectives, and then you feel that does that 4th grader has that information you're trying to give them, and then what happens when I get to the 5th grade? Do I discontinue the program, or how does it work?
That's a really good question. And so at each grade level, there's a certain rigor that is going to require. So even with our 4th grade, they're not thinking about credit cards immediately, but there's certain habits that we can start establishing, key terms that they can already get a good handle on, key concepts as well. So our ability to be able to track to that is going to really play into part of this pilot, right? Like, how can we permeate this into different grade levels to where it extends? Now, the good thing about this infrastructure is that with so much technology being involved, there isn't going to be a space to where the information is not going to be accessible, right? And so we'll be able to equip the teachers with really package what we're calling Financial Freedom Friday videos, key terms and key concepts that they'll be able to use, but not necessarily have to know all the information on the front end. So how we have that in-person experience at the different grade levels, I believe that's going to graduate through the phases of the program.
Okay,
that's a great question.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. I love this program because we had something like this when I was in school. We did stuff with the stock market, how to write a check. So a lot of times I see programs like this, something happened in a certain amount of years and programs kind of died, but I'm happy to see this. But I would do a disservice to my district and my surrounding districts, right, because you only have 6 schools. Right. And how can I go to my kids and say they only have 6 schools for $1 million? And this was a citywide project.
Right. So there are, and that's a great question. So with those schools were essentially, again, guided by the Board of Education. Now, those 6 schools aren't only going to, it's not only going to be specific to those 6 schools when it pertains to the Financial Empowerment Fair and the 24 financial workshops. So that will be accessible district-wide. So all faculty and staff, all parents and caretakers across the district. So we'll have in-person financial workshops as well as to be able to tap in virtually. So the students may not have something specific in regards to the in-person instruction, but we will have a presence in every school throughout Birmingham City School District. It's just when it pertains to that line item in regards to the in-person instruction, that's the capacity with the schools that were already selected.
Okay, and what's the sustainability part? Because if this is $1 million for 6 schools, and We have a lot of schools. What's the future? Will we have to put more money in the budget, or where are we going to fundraise the money? How does that look?
So already we have some national partners that want to be a part of this initiative. I think the long-term sustainability is how this is adopted within the Board of Education's budget as well, considering that we see long-term viability of this, of the students being able to get class credit. So being able to reach those standards, and again, we're working hand in hand with the district to get that crystallized. The deliverables with this not necessarily just being for the students. Again, we have deliverables for the faculty and staff. We have deliverables for the parents and caretakers. So as we scale this over the phases, we see the cost going down because at the time, the teachers should be equipped with the confidence to be able to facilitate this over time. But building the initial infrastructure is going to take some outside support, and then over maybe an 18-month, 2-year period, we'll then be able to put the onus on the faculty and staff, because now they have individuals there with certifications to be able to facilitate this type of in-person instruction and to ensure that what is being tracked is transformative.
Have you thought about maybe getting volunteers to help those other schools? Because I know I've done it. It was with Renaissance Bank and the Urban League, and we did it for free. So I don't know if you could get like banking professionals to come in and be taught and help out those other schools. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, so that's actually already in place. So we've already spoke to 4 financial institutions about being able to get volunteers. Because again, it's our end goal to be in every Birmingham City school. So there wasn't any type of equation on why these schools. It was, what can we do right now? And knowing that this isn't a fly-by-night type of program to where they're just in for a couple of months and they're out. Like, this is, we're engaging the whole community. And so the volunteer opportunities are also there for the financial institutions, because there are definitely some CRA requirements that they need to hit. But then as well for the community members. So there may be folks in the community that may have additional time and they would like to facilitate different presentations. And so that's why we have our own training to ensure that before we deploy them in the classroom, they know the standard in which we expect, but more importantly, they connect with the student.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, Councilor Abbott? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next item. We're going to call both items 36 and 37 because they go together. A resolution by the Council of the City of Birmingham that the mayor be and hereby is authorized to execute for and as the act of said city an agreement with American Entertainment Group LLC AEG, under which AEG shall assist the city with the organization, promotion, management, planning, and record keeping of the Magic City Barbecue and Blues Festival at the historic Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama on October 23rd, 2022. The festival is expected to generate revenue from out-of-town visitors and tourists and will provide positive publicity for the city, and the city will provide incentives and in-kind services to AEG in an amount not to exceed $75,000 pursuant to Amendment Number 772 for its assistance with the festival in Birmingham. And then item number 37, the difference is the Jackson Initiative, under which the Jackson Initiative shall assist the city with the organization, promotion, management, planning, and record keeping of the Magic City Barbecue Blues Festival at Legion Field on October 23rd, 2022. The festival is expected to generate revenue from out-of-town visitors and tourists and will provide positive publicity for the city, and the city will provide incentives and in-kind services to the Jackson Initiative in an amount not to exceed $25,000.
Move the items.
Second.
Okay. Chief.
Hello, how y'all doing today?
Hey, good.
All right, I'm Rory Kent, and I serve as I got a new title now, so I have to, I go by that. But anyway, I serve as as one of the program managers for IEO and OSE, which is Sports and Entertainment. And I'm up here to talk to you guys a little bit about the Barbecue and Blues Fest. The Barbecue and Blues Festival, as you guys just read, is going to be a partnership with AEG, which is a national booking agency. They have done concerts all through Birmingham and nationwide. This concept is good for our city. It's one of a kind for our city. We see them pop up in other cities and they do real good. What's going to be the difference in ours and the other cities is ours is going to be more family oriented. So you can bring mama, grandmother, sister, brother, nieces, nephews. You're going to have jump parks out there for the kids. It's also a cook-off part to it. And in the cook-off part, we was asking that each city councilman get one person from your district to represent your district for the cook-off. Now, the grill is going to be provided and the meat is going to get donated as well. So they don't have to worry about bringing charcoal and grills and all that. That's going to be out there already. But we need 9 contestants, and we want one from each district to participate, if that's okay with you guys. But we think it's going to be good for the west side, something that we can make an annual. And in the future, I would like to see it not just be on the west side, but maybe one year go to the east side, north side, south side.
Okay. Are there any questions from any committee members? Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, can we steal a cook from another district?
District 7 got all the cooks.
Now listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm really gonna need you guys to help me with this one, as far as getting your people out there. But just one. I know it's gonna be hard because everybody think they can cook. So we need just one person. So get the best person out your district.
So the question would be the rules for this cooking business,
Yes, ma'am.
Bring your secret spice in your pocket and, in your backpack. I mean, I think that if I'm going to go out and try to solicit someone, I need to be able to tell them what the rules are, like written down maybe.
Yes, ma'am. So we will have that, and as soon as I get it, I'll shoot it straight to you guys so y'all can have it.
Yeah, I'm sure all the council members will need that because,
Yes, ma'am.
somebody's going to be putting themselves out there representing the district, and they're going to feel like, hey, I need to know what I'm getting into before I get there. And all I can explain right now is that the grill and the charcoal and the meat is provided, and good luck.
No, yes, ma'am. I understand. Point taken. I got you. I got you covered.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of fun, but it also sounds like, stress and pressure for somebody.
Understood. No, we're going to be working alongside of them. So, point taken, and I got you. I got you covered. You'll have all that.
Because when you burn the meat, I mean, it's over.
Madam President?
Yes, thank you. It sounds like a very interesting event, and I really want it to be successful. I'm just curious, we have both of these two agencies, but it looks like the breakdown of what they're doing is similar. So is AEG, I know of them as more of a booking agent for talent and acts and things like that. And then, so is the actual management, I guess maybe the event management would be done by the Jackson Initiative. Just tell me what's the difference in the two.
Yes, so as you just said, AEG is going to be mainly the acts, the entertainment part of it. They're going to provide stage and lights, everything that's going to make that show come together. The Jackson Initiative are all things food. So they are in charge of getting the food truck out there. They're in charge of the judging, and also the sponsorship for the grills, things of that magnitude. All that comes from the Jackson Initiative.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I was going to ask what else is included. So who's performing? Do you know?
Well, I know 2 of the 5 artists for sure. I don't know who the other 3 are per se, but the Manhattans is one, and Big Ro and Big Rob is the other 2. I'm not sure about the other 3 yet, or the other 2 yet. I have to get with him too.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know if you know the food trucks that will be out there. I'm excited for this.
I know some of the food trucks that's going to be out there, but not all of them.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But if you have suggestions, if you guys have food trucks that you may want to see out there, feel free to email me. I would definitely get it over to them, and we'll try to make that happen.
If I can't get Travis to grill, then Travis.
Oh, Travis.
He lives in District 6.
Mr. Travis. Hey, now that'd be good though. Hey, that'd be good.
I
See
know.
if he'll come out there.
I'm gonna knock on his door this weekend. Council Abbott.
Okay, another question regarding this contest.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you snag professionals from your district, or do you have to find normal people, average Joes, or can Travis come cook for District 6? And then the other question is the judges, I guess this is a contest, so you need professional judges who actually know something about judging a barbecue competition. So are these Jackson people in charge of finding all that?
Yes, ma'am. And I don't, honestly, we live in the South. We live in Birmingham. I think any one of us can go and taste some barbecue and tell if it's good or not. But yes, ma'am, they are going to be in control of that. I know it was asked for the mayor and some of you all to participate, but I'm pretty sure you can't judge for your own district. So I had to refer to them for how they're going to do that. But once I get that together, we will shoot that information back over to you.
Well, everything I learned about barbecue judging was over at Sloss Furnaces, where they used to have a big fundraiser every year, and it was a competition, and professional people came from all over the nation and competed. And they had a few of us little city council member judges that were like we were judging the most minor of barbecue contestants, and then the big guys were being judged by people who flew in from somewhere. So, it was a big deal.
Yes,
and I'm really sorry it went away, because it garnered a lot of interest, and they had fabulous T-shirts.
I think some of the thinking was, even for the Madison City Classic, you have all those people out there. Everybody got a grill. Everybody swear they a grill master. So you also going to have, I think on that Sunday, people are actually lining up for the Magic City Classic as well. So it'd be awesome for them to, kind of participate too. But I really want to use, as you put it, regular Joes. But if somebody has Travis, somebody like that in the community, to me, he's an average Joe too, because he's part of that community. Everybody know who Travis is. And what would be greater than somebody in District 3 beat our guy out, and now he can really talk, So yeah, it's all going to be in fun, good, good taste and good fun.
I can just feel a lot of pressure here, y'all.
Hey, go get your best representation.
I love this, especially going to HBCU, because usually homecoming, all that stuff, it starts from Sunday to Sunday. So I like this little kickoff. So
thank you.
Okay. If there aren't any more questions, there's been a motion. No, Jeff.
Oh, one more question. It says $25,000 on item 37 in the write-up, but down at the bottom it says 75.
Yeah, that was a typo.
So it's really 20.
It's 25, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That was a typo.
So
usually when there's a typo, it's the bigger number, so that's good.
So we'll reflect that for item 37. For the amount at the bottom, it's supposed to be $25,000. Jeff, that was it? Okay.
Perfect.
Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 38, a resolution determining that the Morehouse Tuskegee Football Classic event to be held on Saturday, October 8th, 2022 at Legion Field serves a public purpose that promotes goodwill and services a public interest, and authorizing, that's a typo, and empowering the mayor to expend funds to pay for goods and services for this event related to the city cost amount not to exceed, that's supposed to be $300,000. In accordance with sections 3-1-7 of the General Code of the City of Birmingham.
Move the item.
Second.
Chief?
Yes. So this is just to ask the council for their blessing, as they did last year, to declare the Tuskegee Morehouse Classic a public purpose, for us to allow to spend some funds for the operations of the game.
Okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Councilor Abbott?
Okay, so the $300,000 is to provide Public works and policing and barricades and...
Well, it's a whole, I apologize, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's a whole host of things that we're trying to procure, dealing just with buying paint for the field to do the logo in the middle of the Legion Field. We'll get barricades, we'll get portlets outside the venue while people are tailgating. We do a lot of media advertising just to make sure that people are aware that the game is going on. I think we're buying, even for the tailgate experience for the Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, we're having a tailgate experience that allow people to understand how the HBCU system works in collaboration with the SWAC and the SEAC. So it's a whole host of things that we just need funding for so we can get things procured in a timely manner.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Is this going to be a good game? Because Hampton blew out Tuskegee by a lot.
I saw that over the weekend.
A lot.
We'll see. We'll hope that it'll be a great game. That's why we want to promote it as early as possible.
Yes, I agree. Also, I think if you buy a ticket, you get free entry into the Jeezy concert
That's
the
correct.
night before.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a really good promotional thing. So, all right. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Item number 39, a resolution determining that the 81st annual Magic City Classic event to be held on Saturday, October 29th, 2022 at Legion Field serves a public purpose that promotes goodwill and services a public interest, and authorizing and empowering the mayor to expend funds to pay for goods and services for this event related to city costs in an amount not to exceed $1,212,500 in accordance with Section 3-1-7 of the General Code of the City of Birmingham.
Move the item.
Second.
Chief.
Yes, so this is basically the same thing like the Tuskegee Morehouse, but this one has more of a robust budget than the Tuskegee Morehouse. Our largest expenditures from this game is really going towards the schools, and this year, because it's the final year of the agreement, both schools will be getting $400,000 apiece. Outside of that allocation, a larger chunk of it goes towards the bus transportation route that we have provided at 3 different stops from the Crossplex, right outside of Botwell and 7th Avenue North, HABD lot that we have transportation spots. So that funding goes to the Vector Group, who has been our transportation hub system for the last couple of years. The remaining fund, like I said, goes towards operations, just sprucing up Legion Field, dealing with some of the contractual needs that we have within the contract with the promoter. And just like I said, promotions. We want to make sure people understand that the ride, I guess kind of like the Ride Your Live, like we did for the World Games, is up in operationals. It's the same price, $5 per person, and they get a free shuttle route. I mean, a route towards Legion Field to and from. That's pretty much the largest.
Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions? Oh, Jeff, sorry. Did you want to add something?
Yes, ma'am. The budgeted amount is 1.2 million, and I see we have two numbers, 1.1. So is it the budgeted amount of 1.2 or is it 1.1?
It is 1.2 that's in the budget. 1,212,500. Thank you, Ms. McDaniel.
Okay, we'll make that correction, that amount reflects that. Does anybody have any questions?
I did. I just wanted to follow up and clarify, because my question was going to be, out of this amount, what was the amount that's being donated to each school? And you said that was for...
Each school will get $400,000 apiece.
Okay.
And like I said, this is the last year of the agreement as we go into more negotiations with both schools. And I think the schools are looking for a new promoter. And I think they're opening up for RFP. So I don't want to get ahead of them, but I know this is, on our end, this is our last year of the agreement.
Thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Surprise.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The item passes. We don't have any old and new business. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, September 26, 2022 at 3:30 p.m.
I move for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.